And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce someone whose dedication to service and commitment to creating a better world are an inspiration to all of us. It is a pleasure and honor to introduce our founder, Mohanji, to the stage. Please give him a warm applause.
Thank you so much. ACT Foundation, 20 years. Unbelievable. I still remember the time when I was trying to launch a foundation. When I spoke to people, they said, no, don't do that. It's not going to work. And there are so many people telling you so many reasons for not starting something. And it is a big a series of boulders to cross before you actually find a or start a foundation or an activity. So we moved, like I was planning to start this from 2000 Ammu died, and from 2001 onwards I was trying to create some kind of a platform for charity activity. And finally in 2003 we registered, and 20 years now. 20 years, so many countries, so many activities. And the idea of charity itself grew with us. Today, charity activity is not just an activity, it's responsibility. And people look at us as a reliable organization, somebody whom you can trust. So then it becomes even more serious. Everybody connecting to us, people connecting to us with a feeling of reliability. This is a very reliable organization. They do what they say, or they do even more. And when that happens, then it becomes really serious. It's not a joke anymore. And you saw some functions, some things going on here. Please remember, we never called up anybody and asked for money. Last 20 years, we never called up people and asked them to contribute. Everything has been voluntary. And this is 100% run by volunteers, not paid people. People who believed in it. And what did we as the body contributed for to ACT Foundation? All the people who connected to ACT Foundation felt great expansion of their hearts. They felt great. And many people are serving from that time till now, 20 years or more. They are with us. They are walking with us. And there are many new people coming up. But ACT grew by itself, completely organically. We never planned anything. We never envisaged anything. So while standing here today, all I feel in my heart is immense gratitude. My heart is filled with gratitude for all the people who contributed even a small part in creating this huge movement. Now ACT is not an organization anymore. It's a movement. And there are people, many people here who have been with me for a long time, and they have contributed in their own way for the benefit of the people. And please remember, when we do a work of charity nature, it is not something which a person who have it giving to somebody who do not have it. That's not the point here. The point is that we are uniting the frequencies together. All are in the same frequency. We are bringing up people to a possible frequency that we are operating from. So it is not giving to somebody who do not have it. It is raising somebody to have a particular frequency of existence, which will empower them to do more for their people. Not that they get their food and they eat and they sleep. It's that we empower them, we create more energy and power in them to do something much more larger. So it's more of Act Foundation in one word is empowerment, not just feeding. But a great aspect of our activity is giving food to the hungry. And we have proved, especially in South Africa, 80% crime rate reduced in the place where we have our activity zone center. That means 80% of the crime was connected to hunger. When a person is hungry, we have no idea how that person will behave. I experienced this in 2004 when I was in Iraq. I was handling a ship in the port, and I saw one man doing something which is not allowed as per the safety standards. So I called him. I said, "Come here. Why are you doing this? Do you know that you could die by doing this?" He said, "I don't care." And he was speaking good English. So it's an Arabic country, so no, not everybody speaks English. So I said, "You're speaking good English. Who are you?" So he said, "I'm an architect by profession. I was working for the Ministry of Planning. That's the first building they bombed during the war. I lost job. I lost everything. When I go home, I have my wife and 3 children. I see them hungry. I'm ready to kill somebody for some food." You see, we have seen all these kind of deep pains, and you have no idea how such a person will behave in real situations. We cannot control these kind of things. So it's important, and it's a responsibility for all of us to share what we have in abundance. It is important. And while I was in Iraq, when I used to travel through it was very dangerous. And they blew up my four-wheel drive. They kidnapped 2 of my bodyguards. It was a very dangerous time. And I've seen a lot of headless bodies on the way in various places. People are assassinated, killed for the sake of food. So do not underestimate our potential and the requirement of the world. If we have food to eat, if we have breakfast, lunch and supper, that doesn't mean in Peru, we have noticed, we went to a school, they honored me with a kind of some honor of the state. And there when I realized, when I spoke to the teachers, I realized that children come to the school only because there is food in the school. They have no food at home. They walk miles and come to school just for the sake of some food. And when they reach the school and there is no food, they have no food at all. Then they go back home and there is no food there. And they continuously live on potatoes, only potatoes, nothing else. Please understand, the world needs a lot of things. The distribution channels of the world are not functioning well. Every country, 8 billion people out there, all these people have feelings, they have requirements, they have much to give, and they need to survive. And it's the responsibility of all of us to do our part, however small it is. It doesn't matter how big or small, but we have to deliver our part so that the world will be a better place. We are seeing now wars, bloodsheds. How many people are dying? We don't know. After Second World War, when I think it was United Nations, or when the association happened, they took a vow. All the nations said there should never be another war. There should never be another war. There should never be another bloodshed. No displacements, no hunger. Where are we now? Think. Where are we now? We have regressed, not progressed. We have not gained anything. We have lost much. We have not given the world much more peace. We have given the world much more chaos. Not we. As a living individual, all of us are responsible for everything that happens in the world. Not that we have a direct hand in it. When we are passive and when we are not responding, that means we are participating. We can talk because many people cannot talk. If you are heard, you must talk. And that's what I did. All I did was, this whole Act Foundation platform is extremely transparent. Every money coming in is traceable. Expenses are traceable. Activity is traceable. Pictures are there, and everything is transparent. That's the best you can give to this world, because how do the world trust Act Foundation? You got to be transparent. You got to deliver consistently and also reliably. Reliance. People have to rely on. for people to rely on, we should be consistent. So, as I said earlier, this is a movement now, it's growing. And when I see a lot of people wearing the shirt and doing the service in their places, I don't feel any great achievement. I said, oh, this is all I can do. I think like that. Is this all? I'm happy that it's happening, but we can do much more. And we must take the next step and the next step and the next step while you can. Tomorrow, if you're not able to travel, or if you're not, because of various reasons, if your boundaries are blocked, what do? Look within and serve within. But while you can, do your best. That will be your greatest blessing of this life. When you can do your best, that's it. That is the best thing. And I don't want to delay this too much. I would like to call Mila upon the stage to release the ACT Foundation brochure, manual. Uh, I call upon Vijay to receive this from Mila. This is a synopsis of 20 years, and it may not tell the whole story, the agony and the ecstasy, but one thing it tells you, that we have been active in the world. So when you think about ACT Foundation, when you look at it, please remember, so many people's sweat is behind this. So many people have done their role in this, done their part in it. So I thank all of you around the world, all the volunteers, all the contributors, all the people who have supported ACT in the last 20 years. I'm deeply grateful, and ACT doesn't belong to me, it belongs to all of you. And everybody who have done something in their country through ACT Foundation have gained a lot, as peace, as richness inside, inner richness, and also inspiration. I wish you all success. I wish ACT Foundation all success. And I also wish the ACT Foundation Global President, Devi, comes on stage and help release this book.
Hello, my name is Mila, if anyone didn't know. Um, I would like to launch this book. It's the 20th anniversary of ACT Foundation. And first of all, I would like to thank everyone who participated in the making of ACT Foundation and made all of this happen. I don't think we would have done anything without you. My dad, a lot of people doubted him, said that his foundation wouldn't even last a year. Well, now he proved them wrong, and after 20 years, it stands strong and growing in more than 28 countries and 6 continents. And most part of India.
Thank you, Mohanji and Mila. Your words are very uplifting. Now I would like to invite Devi Mohan, the Global President of ACT Foundation, whose enthusiasm and dedication have shaped the path of the foundation. Devi will share her experiences and connection to our mission. Thank you, Devi.
you. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many of you here tonight from different continents, those of you who traveled from different parts of the world, just to be here with us, our distinguished guests. All of you are so welcome, and I'm also happy to see some of you who have been with us from the beginning, some who joined us a couple of years back. I was blessed to be there from 2007, so 4 years after ACT Foundation started. And I always say this, that I not only believe, I'm convinced that the very moment when I decided to join ACT Foundation and to choose the path of selfless service is something that marked my path and changed my life. I truly believe in the power of pure intentions. So the very moment when I made this sincere intention to serve selflessly, I actually longed for it. And it was something I promised to myself when I went through pain, you know, and then I got distracted with my education, with my life, with my enjoyment. And then suddenly one day I remembered, I promised this to myself. I was in Dubai, I enjoyed abundance, really high salary, I finished my master's degree, something was missing. And each one of us, we come, at some point in life, we come to that realization that something is missing. So when you reach that point, that's where the real life starts. When you decide to start giving, this is when you really start living. And this is our powerful message through ACT Foundation. This is something that we live. So when I decided to serve, I was searching for an organization that does hands-on service. I wanted to be like really there with the needy people, with the underprivileged, you know. Okay, and I came to know about Mohanji. So that was a long story. It's all described in my book, which is something that's yet to come later in the evening. But there was a set of synchronicities that proved to me that this particular organization was the one for me. So once I started, this is where it all began. So meeting Mohanji, starting this entire journey, is something I would have never imagined in my wildest dreams. And now really, when I look at what we have achieved so far and how the ball is rolling across the globe, you know, it's really something I never take for granted because it is so beautiful, it is so special. And I would like to thank each and every volunteer who made this possible, you know, because even though it looks like really impressive now when you look on the big screen, it's really the people who are out there in some poor village or in some disaster area struck by earthquake, or someone who feels the calling, I'm gonna do it, you know? We just need one such person, and then we send our support and we are right there. And I have so many stories to share. So now Diana is here from Qatar, so I wanted to share one story that comes to mind, just to give you an example how we are all interconnected and how things with divine providence work through ACT Foundation. This is nothing less but divine, you know, because everything is interconnected. So when I was in Qatar, I conducted some programs like yoga, meditation, and so forth, and we met one really nice lady from Latin America who often goes into deep meditative states, and you can't bring her out, you know, she goes very deep, and she's quite clairvoyant also. So she told me, I got contacted by the tribal people of the Amazon rainforest. You know, there's something that they're waiting for you, something like that she said, like there's something for you to do there. And I was like, Amazon rainforest, you know, really? So I just took it as an information. A couple of months later, there's a Serbian lady, Tanja Cvetek, who lives in Brazil. And she happens to go to Amazon rainforest and she meets Washi, a Yavanava tribe leader who is also a healer and a really nice lady. And she goes through a whole healing process. And then she informs us, especially when COVID started, that they are going through really critical time. The tribal people have nothing to eat. They survive on little goodies that they sell to tourists, and now they were left with nothing. COVID time, everything was blocked, right? They had nothing to eat. And that's where we step in, you know. So through Tanya, as our reliable volunteer, we know the funds will not be mishandled. We have somebody on the ground. Then we fundraise and we send money. And I did birthday fundraising. And we were in touch with the Washi, the Yavanava tribe leader. This is just one of the amazing stories of how it all happened. So I was in Qatar, heard about the tribe, then this whole Serbian ladies in Brazil. The whole world is interconnected. And this is our experience, you know. It's really, really beautiful, really profound. And over the years, what we have seen is that all you really need is to just make that one little step, you know, step towards never have blockage in the mind. And this is something that Mohanji teaches us. Think big, you know. And being next to him, I've always learned this, that there are no limits, you know. We just need to dare, we just need to make ourselves available. Don't ask how, you know, just do it. So this has been our experience from the beginning. And the most beautiful thing about ACT is that, as Mohanji said, everything grew organically. We never pushed anyone. You know, you come to a certain country, you meet someone, and somebody comes forward and says, I'm touched by your work, I really love your message, I want to do something, I'm here, I'm available. That's enough. So once such sincere person comes forward, we respond. But we never imposed ourselves, we never said, can you give us money, you know? It never worked like that. So I believe that it's really a matter of frequency, you know, it's about the energy. And certain people are meant to connect, you know? And when it happens in that way, when it's meant to be, they just recognize one another. And this is how the beautiful work continues. Now, whether you do your contribution to humanity and Mother Earth through ACT Foundation or some other way, of course, we are not the only charity, our message is do it, just do it. Do one positive act per day, one act of kindness. Find your way to contribute. It may not be just by giving food, it could be through your own talents, but taste it, you know, taste what it feels like. And from a spiritual perspective, I sincerely believe that the reason why selfless service is present in every religion of the world and is accentuated as something really powerful is because it really does create a special, everlasting bank balance, which is what Mohanji calls spiritual bank balance. So this spiritual bank balance is something that you have on your invisible account, and when you need help, you get it right away. You can download that money as grace in the moments when you need help. So we have experienced this when Mila fell on her head. I was really crying when I remember that. She fell on her head from the second floor, and we thought I didn't even think she was going to survive it. And then within a matter of a couple of hours, everything changed and she was just healed. You know, like from where? And you know what? 2 days later, we were on the stage and we had ACT Fusion event, charitable concert in the same city in Delhi. And it was just like, you know, one reality started. She was like literally, the child was about to be operated with hematoma on the head, with internal brain bleeding and all that, which is deadly. And then another second, it's all gone. And she never even had headaches. The only thing is she doesn't like to sleep on her head, she sleeps on the side. That's the only consequence that we see so far. But everything was just washed away. You know, and we just continued. I remember that moment, we came out of the ICU. We came on the stage, I was holding her in my hand, wearing a sari, and I just spoke about this charitable event as if nothing happened. You know, like a change in reality. So that's spiritual bank balance. This is how powerful it is. And that's why selfless service is present in every religion and spiritual path. And it really is something beyond powerful. So today we have gathered to share our stories, our experiences. We have many other ACT leaders here present to share their stories. This is just one of my stories, you know, and I also have many of them. I have literally, you know, experienced this immeasurable, indescribable moments of grace. At these moments when I was handing over the aid to some people. And sometimes it was certain refugees or migrants or really sick and poor people. But there's this moment when you physically hand them over, you do that and you look into their eyes and something happens. It's like the time stops. And for me, this happened especially with the people who were like the poorest of the poor and very sick. They had leprosy, and it happened in India in 2017, I believe it was. So there was a lady with one eye popping out, and the only one eye was there. And I didn't even know leprosy existed. I thought that belonged to the time of Jesus, like, but there are people still with leprosy, and their fingers like are no longer existing. Like parts of the body are rotting, eyes are popping out, and they're kind of castaway people. Nobody wants to touch them or look at them, not let alone interact with them. They're like set aside, and nobody talks to them. So imagine them seeing, like, a couple of us were there who were like white-skinned people, ladies showed up in there, and we were serving them food, and they all of a sudden, first they were shocked, they were kind of just like looking, and then they started smiling. And I remember I took a photo with one of these ladies, and she glowed, one eye that's popping out, obviously was not glowing, but the other eye was like beaming. And then something happened to me. I just felt, like a battery that gets charged and it just goes over the top. I was like, and I was like, I didn't know how to, contain the joy. And this left such a deep impression that nothing that I experienced in physical world could compare to the joy I experienced in that moment. And this experience stayed with me for many days. And then I could see a change in my energy system. Like I could just go into a thoughtless state very easily. It's like my heart took over, the mind quiets, the heart expands, and I experienced the reward of this work. So this is our key message. Let yourself experience that. Go out there, serve, and experience that immeasurable joy just from the selfless service. So this is our message.
Thank you, Devi. Thank you. It is truly inspiring hearing about